Hello racers, welcome back, and today we will be talking about the leaders from the new set, Secrets of Power, and we will be ranking them on how good they will be in the current meta for this set. We may mention if they will be powerful after the rotation, but this list will be mostly for this set and how those leaders will impact the meta. And without further ado, let's start with the first leader, so Chancellor Palpatine.
Yep. So Palpatine overall is gonna probably play a similar shell as other blue-green villainy decks. With leader that deploys so late in the game, you really need to ramp that green offers to get to the flip. He can go a little bit more aggressively with some plot cards than like decks like Thrawn, for instance. But yeah, I am not ranking him. I wouldn't rank him super highly just because he's deployed super late, and the plot cards are okay, but they are nothing game breaking by any means. So he's probably around B tier.
Yeah, I can add that there are just better leaders in the same color. He may be a little bit better after rotation. What also holding him back a little bit is that the fact that his ability doesn't really have an impact on the board, and if you deploy so late, you really would like to have something to fall back on in any board control when your deploy is on 7. Next, we have Dedra, one of, for me, better leaders from the set. She deploys on 4 and can be played both really aggressively or in a control share. And I think if I would rank her as an aggro leader, she would be around a low B C tier. But because she is actually, for me at the moment, one of the best hard control leaders because of her ability, I think she will be a part of the meta, an important part of the meta, and I would rank her in an A tier.
Next with Pryce. Pryce, the biggest problem of this leader is the fact that she flips on 6 with pretty bad stat line. I remember when I saw spoilers and I was like, oh wow, this leader is really good, 4/6 that deploys on 5, and then I realized that she deploys on 6, and I was like, probably not so good. And there are a few things going for her. There is I am the Senate, so you can play that card, create a bunch of spy tokens, and then make her swing for a lot. So we have at least that one cute combo, but probably not enough to make her competitive. So C tier basically.
Yeah, there is also another combo with the creating TIE fighters, 8 ready TIE fighters, so she will get 8 additional power in the turn. So she can swing for a lot, but it's really hard to keep her alive. So
yeah, if she dies, then all of those tokens are not really doing much. Like in Scramble Fighter's case, sure you get a bunch of ready tokens, but they can't swing even into base, so not really doing much overall.
Yeah. Next we have Cassian, one of the more interesting leaders, but at the same time, it is an aggressive leader that competes with Sabine, and this is what dragging him down. I think before rotation, he will see 0 play. But if someone decides to play him, he will just be playing weaker Sabine, but still a pretty decent deck. So I can't really put him lower than B tier. But I also, at the same time, I don't really see any reason to play him as long as Sabine is in the standard meta.
Yeah, Kasan has a few nice things, but overall, he's a little bit too slow to function well. Next we have Luthen. Luthen is another one of those leaders that his stat line is just brings him down quite substantially. Being a 2/7, he deploys on 5, which is a good thing, but overall his ability is not really offering you that much. And with Sabine being around and leaders like Hunt 2 also, there is not really much point of playing him. So yeah, C tier for Luthen.
Yeah, exactly. I think if he would be in any other color combination, he would see a little bit more play, but in this one, just too big of a competition. And next we have Sly Moore, and she is just mediocre. Like, she doesn't have amazing stats, she doesn't have amazing ability. After flip, she has a okay power, but still 3-6 is really not the best. That one, if she would be 3-7, I would think she might see a little bit more play, but because a lot of things can instantly kill her and survive, I think she will be rarely seen, but she finds a niche because both other leaders for cunning villainy were banned, so she is at least a 5-drop leader that deploys in this color that can be played a little bit aggressively. So C tier for me.
Next we have C3PO. C3PO is not great, but like one thing this leader has going for him is the fact that he deploys early, has Snatch with Babu Freak, so you can build him in Aggro Shell, and Aggro Shell sometimes will just work because the opponent might not have the answer to stop the aggressive approach, and like yellow heroic paired with either green or red can go just for the aggro approach, similarly to Sabine Yellow, and that is basically everything that C3PO has to offer. So probably a C tier, just because like he can be played as an aggro deck, but it's not like a good aggro deck basically.
Yeah, the only thing that for me he is going for it is that one additional HP on 4 makes him hard to remove, and now we have a lot of things that can remove Sabine. So putting upgrades on him or like Moti, Babu Freak can push a lot of damage, but it's a deck that does one thing and it's easy to counter, but it's also appeals to some players, so it will see some play. And next we have Padme Amidala. This is one of the more interesting leaders. She is basically Cad Bane for heroic. For me, she plays really similar to Cad Bane, and a little bit different than Quinlan, because she's less aggressive. She's more about board control, but she has a really, really powerful place with the new 3 mana 3/3 that disclose with Bale. She can dominate the ground quite extensively. And even though she deploys on 6 and her stat lines are not amazing, 3/8 is still hard to remove. So she will be able to get few additional trades. And after flip, her ability is unlimited. So if you build enough of a board, you can get a lot of value in a single turn. So I think she will be a big part of the meta and will be just as important as Dedra in the upcoming season.
Next there is Sabe. Sabe is okay. Like the biggest problem of her ability is the fact that like it's not really that easy to proc it. Like when she's in the leader zone, because like you need to attack with the unit to the base, which you might not be able even to do because the opponent can trade into you, or you might want to trade into the opponent. And then even if you go to the base with her, first of all, you need to discard. It's a mandatory thing. You can't just decide not to discard. So that's already a problem, because sometimes you'll see you're playing against a blue-green villainy. You see they have 2/2 drops on the top deck, and you need to discard one of them, and then the opponent top decks a barrage of vigilance, and you are in trouble because of that. And also in Constructed, the power level of individual cards in a deck are relatively close together. So like the difference between like getting rid of one removal and the opponent drawing another one is not really that substantial in all cases. If she was maybe better statted, I think she could be solid, but 3/6 with the rate 1 that we plays on 5 is okay, but nothing too special. So probably like a top of the C tier.
Yeah, I feel the same way. She's an aggressive blue leader, but I think there are better options in the same colors. And now let's talk about, I think, a just card that is badly designed. DJ is just unplayable. I wanted him to be decent. I wanted him to be playable. And we are in the stage that we will have the most amount of double cunning cards, because after the rotation we are losing half. So this is the set that he should be the most powerful, and he's basically unplayable. Having non-heroic or villainous cards makes you be forced to play really bad cards, and those cards, even reduced by 1, are often not as good as just playing normal cards. And it's not only that they are played cheaper, because you are capturing them, you need to do few other things to make them actually on the board. And in addition to that, it's one of the worst flips I've ever seen in a leader. 6 mana for 6, it's awful, and his ability is basically non-existent, because it's really hard to combo, because if your opponents know what they are doing, they will just clear your units before. So for me, he's completely unplayable.
Next, there is Jabba. Jabba is okay. Like, he has a few nice synergies after he flipped with like the ambushes, with cards like Death Troopers and such. So he has a few nice things going for him. His ability before flip is not really that impressive. Like, it requires quite a bit of setup, and like the payoff is not that impressive. Like, in later stages of the game, on like 7, 6, on the rounds after Jabba already deployed and died, that can be the moment when like there are some units that are damaged, and maybe with the free damage threshold also, so you can deal the 1 extra damage. So then his ability becomes a little bit better, but in early stages of the game, it's super hard to use it. And overall, also like his stats are not that good. But like his ability on its own, once he flips, and the synergy that he has with the ambush cards and such is strong enough to put him at the bottom of the B tier, probably behind the Palpatine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like for me, it's really similar. Both of those leaders may see play after rotation, but I don't really see any point of playing them now. And it's similar to the next one. So Lama Su, it's a leader that is basically close to Gar Saxon, because he also cares about upgrades, but it's worse in every single way. Worse deploy, his ability, even though making the upgrades cost cheaper sounds like a really good thing, because we don't really have 4+ cost upgrades, it doesn't really matter, because on turn 1 you will play an upgrade, and on turn 2 there is only basically like Dark Saber that you can play with cheaper. And Dark Saber, if you consider that it also loses you 1 HP, it's not really better than a free drop upgrade. So there isn't really any good synergies for the leader. And after flipping, because it works in a way that you need to attack and then you play the upgrade, you can even play it on himself, and get the benefit of the stats during the attack. So for me, it's the other leader that is like unplayable, because there will always be, for me, almost any other leader in the same colors that will be better. But it's still better than DJ.
Yeah. Next, there is Leia. Leia is another one of those experienced leaders. Her biggest problem is the fact that Rey already exists, and Rey does her job better. And even right now, Rey doesn't see much play. Like, Yoda is the primary blue-green heroic deck. Rey might come back because there are a few nice things that are introduced in the secrets, like the populist, like, I don't remember the name of the card exactly, but he is a 1-drop 1/4 that gets Sentinel when your base is stacked. So like, after the first attack, it gains the Sentinel. So it's a nice 1-drop, and there are a few other things. So Wraith might come back into the meta, but Leia can buff herself, and the fact that she doesn't care about the 2 power threshold as Rey does makes her good on paper, maybe a little bit, but like, Rey has such a massive restore that really helps you against the aggro decks that, yeah, there is not really much of a comparison between those two, because the Rey is just superior. After rotation, maybe Leia will be the primary leader for the blue green heroic, but before rotation there is no chance. So probably like top of C tier for now.
Yeah, I can only add that even though in limited it's super easy to trigger her ability, in constructed it gets a little bit harder because every good card you want to put in your deck is heroic, and then finding cards that are not heroic that you can buff is becoming a problem. So you need to lower the quality of your deck to be able to use her ability, and I think this is one of the things that really holds her back. So I think she might be actually pretty good at the beginning of the set when we are forced to play a little bit of the weaker of the rotation, when we will be forced to play a little bit weaker cards, and then her ability will basically be unlimited and you can benefit a lot. So yeah, right now I would put her on the top of C tier, but she might gain a lot from rotation. And next we have another amazing leader. So Satine Kryze, I think it may be a common thing that they will make every single Satine in this game completely unplayable. With the previous legendary is unplayable, and this card is even worse. The ability before flip is good. It's a good ability. Sadly, after flip, you basically got a 0/8, so like a 2-drop body, and nothing to show for it, because if your opponent know how to play against, they will just that restore will not matter because they will just kill her instantly, and you will be left out of having a pretty okay ability, but there isn't really anything that you can break the game with that ability. So considering all of it, she will just be unplayable.
Yeah, like one thing that you can do with her is you can play upgrades on her once she flips, so then you can give her some extra power. But like without the upgrades, she's 0/8, so she's really easy to kill, and she will deal no damage back. So that makes her pretty bad overall. After her, there's Ularen.
Maybe if they like introduce an upgrade that converts restore to like stats or something like this.
maybe one day. But yeah, next there's Ularen, and Ularen is overall okay. So he is very similar to Leia from set 1, and Leia saw some play in set 1. The problem is like villainy is not really as aggressive as heroic, so it's kind of hard to build, especially like ground-based aggro. Like villainy can go for the space strategy. Decks like Vader and Boba are showing that approach, but it's kind of hard to build a ground-based aggro in villainy just because like those units are not really that well started for aggressive approach, especially like in green, because like you can go for like yellow-red strategies with like Cat Bane, sure, that works, but in green villainy there is like not enough support to make that work. His deploy is nice, like he's a 5 cost 5 resource deploy leader with 4/6 stat line, which can receive like a Krennic power, or you can play barrage on him. So those things are making him a little bit better, but still probably not good enough. So yeah, somewhere around C tier.
Yeah, I agree. He's basically worse Leia, or better Leia, but it's still Leia, the set 1 Leia. Next we have Dryden, and this is a really interesting leader. His ability is really powerful, but at the same time really costly. And we don't really have any big synergies with this card at the moment. The biggest one is Palpatine's Return, and he uses that card really, really well. But without synergies, like if you discard this card, gain something, his ability will always cost a lot. So he is not an easiest leader to play. I think he still can be built to be competitive. The biggest problem for me is the fact that other decks can really abuse the low amount of cards you have, and you have in different leaders you have also a ways to give stuff ambush for a lower cost than having a 7 deploy leader. And even though his deploy is not bad, 5/7 overwhelm with an ability that is a little bit better than before, because now you can ambush stuff that are 7+, is still not enough to prevent him to succumb to aggro, because aggro will just eat this leader alive. But because he is still in a decent color, he can be played with blue and red, and in both these versions he do stuff that can be pretty oppressive. I would put him in the B tier.
Yeah, like Dryden might be able to handle like ground-based aggro, but like handling space aggro is just super difficult because like in order to handle space aggro, you would need to put vehicles into the deck so you can like ambush with those vehicles in space to clear the opponent units. But like the spaces are for the most part not that well statted, so it's kind of hard to build that. So yeah. Especially like considering the fact that we are expecting the meta to be quite a bit space oriented with all the support that those decks are getting. So yeah, all those things combined make Trident probably not that good of an option. Okay, so next we have Mon Mothma, and Mon Mothma is an interesting leader. So she's playing in a very similar playstyle as Rex. So she's basically a build around for unit of purpose. And when we compare her to Rex, she's definitely a better leader when it comes to doing that, just because of her ability, which enables you to play officials from different colors, which allows you to maybe potentially play cards with different traits. So yeah, definitely better than Rex. The problem is that Rex was really playable, so she's definitely solid when it comes to that unity of purpose type of playstyle, but it's probably still nothing super special. But that probably is enough to put her at the top of the B tier because how strong the card can be if the opponent has no answer for it.
Yeah, I agree. And there are few really good officials that only she can play, so there might be also something there. And lastly, we have Bale, and Bale is actually in a really similar spot to Mon Mothma, because he also is mostly playable with the Droid Manufactory deck. He is using that base to its fullest potential, and with him, I am a little bit worried what will happen post-rotation, because without that base, I don't really think he can operate really well. But with it, he will be a playable leader. It's really fun leader to play because he's doing something completely different than anything else in any other leader. Right now, I didn't manage to break him. He was too fair to be really highly competitive, but I'm 100% sure that there will be a list that utilize his abilities to the fullest, and he will be a like big chunk of the meta. And I would personally put him a little bit ahead of Mon Mothma, but really similar because they play really similar playstyles.
Yeah, Bale is kind of tough to judge because he can be technically played in any color. Like all the colors have something going for him. Like you can play him with red, the base that gives you extra cards. You can play him with blue to play 1 in a million. You can play him with yellow maybe for the aggressive shell. I would say the strongest one out of those is the green version. I feel like the droids will give you just the biggest amount of value, and there are a few nice cards in green that can synergize with that. So we have cards like Unity of Purpose, Oppo. So yeah, all things considered, I would say Bale will be the best with green, and he's solid, but nothing too crazy overall.
Yeah. Yeah, and so this is it. And lastly, I would like to really thank our Patreons for the continuous support. We are releasing a deck list daily now for the new set. Whenever we come up with something, we are trying to release it. We are also updating all the deck lists from the previous set, but it will take a little bit of time to do them all because we have a lot of playable leaders right now, and testing all of them will just take a little bit of time, but it's a constant work from us to put as much value as possible into there. So thanks everybody, and thanks once again, every Patreon that supports us.
See ya.